when mining and metals experts look back on 2019, it may very well be seen as a watershed year for the sector. And the reason being that 2019 may well have been the year where ESG, being environmental, social and governance issues, became a core investability issue for the sector. Obviously, the sector itself has very specific ESG concerns, and we've seen some very horrific tailings dam issues on the environmental front in the last few years. On the social front, we've seen community impact, both as a result of environmental issues and just general social license to operate concerns coming to the fore. And then on governance, from the boardroom to the mine site, we've seen many issues arising. That is now playing out in very specific ways in the mining and metals sector, where you see some of the asset managers really considering whether they can continue to be invested unless the sector can continue to maintain and regain the trust of investors and other stakeholders.
Developers, lenders and other investors into the sector are proceeding with real caution in relation to any new projects where there could be a tailings dam involved. Major mining companies need to focus their attention at the moment on their existing liabilities, on their existing operations, to ensure the safety of existing tailings dams. And as a result, that has probably meant that projects will be slower to get going. I think governments as well will be cautious in issuing any new permits where a tailings dam will be involved. At the moment, the global investment community is developing an international standard, the global tailings standard. And with that standard in place, I think there will be a good opportunity for governments and for investors to move forward with projects with confidence and with a standard that they can apply to any new projects. The second issue I think that's relevant and also sort of stemming from ESG concerns is in relation to communities. And a lot of countries in Latin America are currently considering the constitutional rights of local communities and the say that they have in whether or not a project gets developed in their area. As constitutional courts resolve the issues around communities and their constitutional rights, I think we'll see projects being able to move forward with more certainty.
As we look ahead to 2020, we are keeping a watchful eye on the potential uptick in resource nationalism activities. There are elections in a number of key mining jurisdictions, which is also always a warning signal for potential resource nationalism. And then we also have the various environmental and community concerns that are bubbling up in a number of very, very key mining jurisdictions, which do at times trickle through and result in resource nationalism activity by governments. From our perspective, we can see our mining company clients working very, very hard to manage those risks, to maintain their relationships with host governments and local communities. But it's an ongoing process for everyone involved and something that deserves close and continued attention. So unless the sector is unable to address the ESG challenge, I think the sector finds itself at risk of becoming a necessary evil rather than, a core contributor to, the energy transition and, the next realms of, Industry 4.0. That being said, all of our clients and all of the sector participants that we deal with are, deeply committed to addressing these concerns of stakeholders and investors, and in fact, sort of are relishing the opportunity to be able to address these concerns.